you want to wait about 10? What are we doing live? Okay.
You're live right now, buddy.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, guys, we're going to start the show.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the intro song. Oops, wrong one. Sorry.
It's time to take a ride on the MCD.
Funko Pop. Hey guys, do you want to go to Lambert's? Big Ben. I'm married to the Huntress. J Money. Just pop the mic money. It's time for the MCD. Ladies and guys and ladies. MCD.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Modern Christian Dudes podcast. Jeremiah Johnson alongside Funko Pro, Greg Walden, Big Ben, a.k.a. King Ranch Askew.
Hello.
Well, it is the weekend of NFL football. NFL Mania. We're going to join today on a Monday. You can listen to it whenever, but we had to dial in right away because we have to join the craze. All the talk post-NFL weekend. Probably one of the best NFL weekends of my entire life, literally. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely insane.
Nuts.
Yep. You never know. Football, I mean, NFL, you never know. I mean, it might be scripted a little bit, maybe.
Right.
No, I'm just teasing. I'm just playing.
It is. I mean, I'm an NBA guy. That's my favorite, but I do believe the NFL, just its format, its excitement, the way it's played, is probably the most exciting sport in America.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, see,
you can see why it's easily watched. That's the most.
Well, basketball, you have multiple games, right, over time.
Right.
You could, I mean, NFL, you can just have a bad weekend. Like if Tom Brady just has a bad day, that alters everything.
He did this weekend.
You know, whereas basketball, if LeBron's like, I'm just not feeling it today. You know, I ate a giant burrito and I just knocked my shots off.
That is my theory. So that is why I actually like the NBA the best, because in the NBA, the best team always wins.
Yeah.
Truly, because in a 7-game series, the best team is going to win that series. Because you can get a game here or there. It's also why I'm not a big March Madness guy, because you get these Cinderella teams that just they got hot that game, they got lucky, and it's like they're not really the best team. But so that's why I like it. But that is the excitement of the NFL is you can.
But it is. It's just part of it. And the other thing is too is just injuries, especially in postseason. Yeah. That's a huge deal. Like a team could be amazing all regular season, and then a couple of really good players get hurt, and it completely alters. Who's gonna make it?
So let's roll through them then. And we are the Modern Christian Dudes talking news, sports, and God. We appreciate you guys listening. Like, share, and subscribe. All that good stuff. The first game, which I was feeling so good coming out of, was the Bengals topped the Titans 19-6.
Yep.
And that was my dark horse, the Bengals making to the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I was feeling good after that one.
Yeah. I actually got that one. I got the sorry, were we talking about Cincinnati or Chiefs?
Cincinnati.
Sorry.
Let's go in succession here. That was the first game of the weekend.
Yep.
Low-scoring game, not a lot of excitement, but the Bengals get the win.
I got it wrong. I picked Tennessee just to be the opposite of you guys, because you both chose the Bengals.
I knew the Bengals were going to win.
Yeah. So, what did I tell everybody? What did I tell everybody out there in the MCD universe? I told you that a bye week is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. Yep. For the Tennessee Titans.
And it proved. Well, for both.
For both,
For both.
Actually, historically speaking, I've been kind of interesting looking back all through the NFL's history to see what the winning percentage of teams that got the number one seed and had the bye week, how often they won, how often they lost.
I don't think it's good. But I picked Tennessee and got it wrong. Cincinnati pulled through with a field goal.
Story of the weekend, a lot of close games.
Yes.
This game, it was a last minute or field goal as time expired to win the game for the Bengals. And my big takeaway is I think there's really, really something to confidence and a momentum for young players, specifically young quarterbacks. I believe if you lose, it can really affect your career. So Joe Burrow is winning, and I believe his confidence is just rising.
Yeah.
And this is going to set the stage for his career.
Well, I mean, all this weekend, all the young new quarterbacks were shining all this weekend.
Yeah.
Across the games.
Some articles said that Tennessee was kind of a fake number 1 seed anyway.
Yeah.
And, they didn't have the name value, the marquee name value, but the Bengals keep rolling.
Bengals drafted that kicker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they drafted their kicker, and people made fun of him. So apparently, it was worth it, ultimately.
Yep. It'll be interesting. So the Bengals get the win, but keep in mind the Bengals, the last time they played the Chiefs, they put a little spank down on the old Kansas City Chiefs.
So it's a little bit of a rematch.
Joe Burrow was on fire, and so it'll be interesting. But keep in mind that was in Cincinnati, that last game that they put the spanking on the Chiefs. Regular season game. Now they head to the Red Kingdom, Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium, and they have to go in there to Mahomes'
Buffaloes
house.
and Bills. What a game. Do you want to save that one for last?
Yeah, we're going to save that one for last. Moving
for last.
on to the second Saturday game, and the guy who probably had the worst weekend out of everyone, hands down, Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yeah,
the Packers.
It was probably his pinky toe.
Yeah.
Did you know he had an injured pinky toe, and he's
13-10. I didn't realize that he is not. I think he's 0-6. I should have these stats in front of me. Versus the 49ers in the playoffs. So he hasn't. It hasn't boded well for him in regards to playing the 49ers anyway. But 13-10, a horrible loss. If you saw the game, if you guys caught any of it, it was blustery, snowy, the frozen tundra of Green Bay.
That's Green Bay. That's Green Bay's type of weather right there.
Yeah. But they should be used to, especially. Specifically, Aaron Rodgers should be. Acclimated to that climate.
His relationship with the team and everything has been rocky, though. I don't think his heart has been in it. I really don't.
Well, he's going to win the MVP, most likely. 2-time MVP, 2 years in a row. This will be his 4th MVP. So just such a weird character of a player. Sometimes I love him. Sometimes I hate him.
I can't stand him. I really can't. I don't like his smug face. I don't like the way he plays. I don't like the way he snaps the ball before defensive players can get off the field. I think that's cheap, personally.
Yeah. But this again, the game ends with a field goal in the end for the 49ers to get the win. Jimmy Garoppolo, man, he's feeling good about himself, though.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that the 49ers make it into the Super Bowl. Just because I can feel better that the team
and
that
this is
beat
where
the Cowboys.
This is where my weekend went south because I picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I thought they were
over the Kansas City Chiefs.
All three of us picked.
So my bracket's
Green
busted
Bay on that one. So
interesting. I'm not betting on you anymore, Aaron Rodgers, for the rest of your career. It's interesting where he will land. Some people are saying Denver Broncos, a little
there's
Peyton Manning.
There's whispers of retirement too.
Retirement or Pittsburgh Steelers is another one on the board. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he just wants to get out of Green Bay. He's also had a little bit of that Hollywood in him in that the last few years he's dated Danica Kilpatrick.
Yeah.
Broke up there. And now he's dating the one actress. What's her name? I can't even think of the movies that she was in, but he's dating an actress in Hollywood.
I don't know who.
So I think he's kind of into that whole like Hollywood kind of want to be cool lifestyle.
Maybe he'll be a movie star. You never know.
But,
yeah.
He was going to, he's a big Jeopardy. You saw that he hosted Jeopardy. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Filled in for several episodes and was big talk that he might retire and then be the host of Jeopardy.
Well, he's going to be an analyst. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be commentating.
See him on ESPN.
So two games that ended with field goals.
Actually,
Bengals get the dub.
3 games, actually.
Well, I'm going for their first two on Saturday. I'm talking about Saturday, sir.
Sorry.
Pro. 49ers get the field goal as well. So you guys, where were we at on the picks there? I picked the Bengals, lost on the Packers.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah,
here.
we all lost on the Packers.
Yep.
Okay. So. Moving on to the third game, the second best game of the Sunday games were amazing. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Buccaneers by a field goal, 30-27.
What a game that was! Listen, I tell everybody, never bet against Tom Brady. Never bet against Tom Brady. I realize he lost.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, "Oh, Bucks are down. Bucks are down." I was like, "Listen, this is Tom Brady, and there's a lot of football to play."
Yep.
And near about pulled it off too.
Yeah, he did.
Near about pulled it off.
Actually, the Bucks defense kind of hosed him on that game.
Yep.
My takeaway from this game is we believe in the one true God. But I believe the football gods; those aren't real. Just for sake of it. Okay, But I believe the football gods have spoken to Tom Brady after this weekend. It's time to retire.
Well,
It's time to go home to Giselle.
Right
off in the sunset.
He's still top tier, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely. But it really is that kind of thing. Is like at this point, what are you really, really playing for?
Actually, I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna step out and issue it.
Championships,
I'm gonna issue a I call my MCD challenge to Tom Brady. Go to the Browns and lead into the Super Bowl win. If you can do that, you're like
would be
super good.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
The
poor
Browns would give
fans.
anything for that. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many years can you have the number 1 draft pick and not be a Super Bowl winner? Just saying, Browns. Just saying.
So I'm with that line of thinking. I'm kind of like, I think I think everyone's kind of sick of Tom Brady. Either retire for a year and then just come back for one more.
What was the statistic? Was it you that were saying it's been how many years it's been that Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers
12 years
have been been in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the conference championship.
Conference championship. Yeah. 12 years.
Yeah.
Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers have been in the conference championship. So it'll be nice to not see their faces in the championships or the Super Bowl.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what I'm saying. Retire for a year, then come back for one more kind of run, if you will, if you want to do it that way. But it's kind of like my man, Goat James, a.k.a. LeBron James, the GOAT. He made it to, I think, 9 or 10 NBA finals and just
how many do you win?
So he's got 4 rings. He's got 4 rings.
I'm not going to make any statements other than that.
All right. Well, any other takeaways from that? I mean, it's rather amazing that the LA Rams had a 2-touchdown lead. And it's all but over. You're like, this game is over. And what happens is TB12 turns it on.
Yeah.
The magic of Brady ties the game. And you're like, this is going to overtime. The Bucs are going to win. It's Brady again.
Never bet against Tom Brady.
And something very
always
rare happens. Yeah. The football gods oppose Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well,
Once
I'm
again,
saying,
we believe in one.
I'm saying in a playoff game, I don't care how far you head, you never brag. Yeah, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And I hate to throw my wife under the bus, but many years ago, Chiefs are playing Indianapolis in the playoffs, and at halftime the Chiefs are up 35-10. My wife's like, "There's no way they're going to lose this game," and they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the beauty of the NFL. And then a big game for the quarterback of the LA Rams.
Yep.
Because that was the big story for him is, that they traded away all these picks and all these kind of things to get him.
Yeah.
And
he's proving. But,
Matt Stafford from the Detroit Lions had never won up to this year. Matt Stafford had never won a playoff game, and that was the big story of his career. It's like, yeah, he's great. He's got a lot of passing yards, things like that, but he can't get the playoff dub.
Well,
now he gets one playoff win, and then he gets the second win.
Well, he got away from the Lions. That helped a lot.
Yeah, you got to be able to have good players around you. But yeah, LA Rams looking good. Shout out to Lane. Our buddy Lane, huge Rams fan.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows it. But I'm sure he's excited
so there you go. All the first 3 games of the weekend, all by a field goal. Bengals, again, 19-16 over the Titans. 49ers, 13-10 over the Packers. Rams, 30-27. And we get to literally what was potentially the best quarterback battle of all time. Buffalo Bills.
I would argue one of the best playoff games of all time.
Ever.
I would say so.
Ever.
I was scared because before the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Bills went at it, you saw Tennessee get knocked off, you saw Green Bay get knocked off, you saw Tampa Bay get knocked off. I'm like, oh gosh,
here it comes.
I was so worried about the Chiefs getting knocked off.
Listen, everybody was saying that the Bills hadn't played anybody yet. So it would be interesting to see them go into that game, but what an amazing team! I feel awful for them. I really do.
Yeah, I feel bad for them.
I really do.
There's some games where you're like, you wish we could all win.
Yes,
like they could somehow both be winners, and that was the game. Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
They both really honestly deserve to win that game.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are complaining about the overtime ruling. There are a lot of people screaming and crying out in New York to say that we need to change the rule. But honestly, they both played except for minus the defense on both teams, obviously. But you know, to determine technically at the flip of a coin, I mean,
It's not a great comp, but to me, it's like the overtime rule kind of thing is like, I compare it to college football when we used to not have a national champion.
Yeah.
Remember that back in the day, we just had like the Rose Bowl. It's like the Pac-12 and the Big Ten played each other. And then the Orange Bowl was, and then so there was never a unified championship. That's Nebraska. The one year they were dual champions with Michigan, and everyone was all up in arms. So then they went to the computerized system, and then everyone complained about that. And then now they've gone to the playoff system, and everyone complains about the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
I just feel it's that kind of situation is no matter what you're going to do there, keep complaining.
I thought, and I don't know, I feel like this is the way it used to be. If you made a touchdown, the other team had a chance to make it. And then if the other team made a touchdown, then whoever makes the next point wins. But
actually, it used to be just sudden death. Whoever scored
Sudden
the
death.
first point
Sudden
scored first.
death. It was sudden death.
including a kick, a field goal.
Yep. Before they changed it, the original back when I first started watching football, it used to be they went to overtime, and the first team that scored won.
Okay.
Didn't matter if it was a field goal, touchdown. It was over. But then they
So there's
changed
still
it.
an option because field goals.
And so basically, what it is now is like if the Chiefs would have kicked a field goal, then the Buffalo would have got the ball back and chance to either get a field goal or a touchdown. And then if they would have got a touchdown that second possession, they would have won. Or if they got a field goal and tied it, then they would have had another possession.
The problem is too is you got to end the game at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just let it keep going.
Well, it's like I say, the people whining about the overtime and rules like just say Chiefs got the touchdown. Okay, now you get the Bills, they get a touchdown, ties the game. Okay, so now the Chiefs get the ball, they score a touchdown. Are they going to whine? Well, the Bills should get another chance. I mean, golly, you want 5-6 quarters. I mean, somebody's got to win the game.
Well, see, what was awesome about this game last night is that we had church last night, so obviously couldn't watch the game.
Yep.
Well, by the time me and my family got home and we pulled up the app to start watching the Chiefs game, the first play, we turned it on, and the first play that we saw was Hill
Tyreek Hill
making the touchdown. Yeah, that was the first play that we saw. So what a time to get into that game and start watching. So
I don't have cable, so I was watching it on the phone. It has a little ESPN app. We can kind of watch it play. It's kind of graphical play by play.
you can watch it live if you download the NFL app.
Get the NFL app. Yes.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, they Hill scored the touchdown, and like, okay, then the Bills come back and just torch him. Like, boom.
Yeah. Well, that's what frustrated me so much that last minute on both teams. It's like, where's the defense at?
Right.
I mean, that's gonna,
right.
Like
wide open passes.
Let's be honest. I mean, I don't know, the 49ers or the Rams. If Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl, that defense has to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to show up against Cincinnati next week.
Right. So, I don't know. What an inspirational
Story of the game was that if I'm getting this right, the big thing that made the game so amazing is that the Chiefs score that go-ahead touchdown with roughly a minute and 47 seconds left.
A minute left.
2 minutes when the Bills get the ball back.
Yeah.
The Bills, as you're watching it, you're like, there's too much time. There's just too much time. The Bills have a shot. They take it down. They get a touchdown. And then, up 3 points. And now the Chiefs get the ball back with 13 seconds.
13,
And they have to go from the 20-yard line. And you're like, okay.
I literally thought the game was over when that happened.
I did too.
I literally thought the game was over.
Well, see, but they also talked about their kicker. And they were talking about, okay, so what is the actual distance that he can hit it?
Right.
And he said, well, they're like, well, he's missed something, but they said that he's got quite the leg.
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe a 58-yard, somewhere.
I
in
believe
there.
they would have put him out there at 70 yards if for craps and giggles, just try to get it.
If it's down to the wire. But Mahomes, man, gave him beautiful position to kick that field goal. And
I have a feeling that Patrick Mahomes went to Hy-Vee that morning and bought some Mahomes Magic Crunch.
Yeah,
and he
the
ate
last
that several bowls of cereal.
I just can't believe within a minute. So with Hill's touchdown, within a minute, like every single pass from both teams was at least like 20 yards. It just boggles my mind. It's like, how, like, where's the DBs? Where's the cornerbacks here in this game? But what an exciting thing. honestly.
NFL's feeling good about
Oh, yeah.
themselves
Oh, yeah.
on this Monday morning.
Absolutely.
Probably cashing all
Everybody's-
kinds of good checks. All those $billion contracts are going to
Everybody's
keep
talking
rolling
about it.
in.
But
for
I will
the
say,
NFL.
okay,
Talk of the town.
as a Cowboy fan, one of the worst things that came out of that game last night is all the memes about the Cowboys 14 seconds left in the game and Kansas City Chiefs 13 seconds left in the game.
You see that one? I saw one
comparison.
meme. I saw one meme this morning where they say when you give the Chiefs like 15 seconds, they showed them on a safari hunting a buffalo.
Oh, man.
That's gracious.
Yeah, whatever.
Social media, man. Aaron Rodgers getting completely crushed today.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes getting some love.
I'll tell you this, too. I had this thought last night, and my son, obviously.
Your family now drinking the Kansas City Chief Kool-Aid as we speak.
Yeah.
So I grew up a Cowboys fan, obviously, and my dad's a big Cowboys fan, and my grandma, shout out to Grandma Askew, she's a huge Cowboy fan, huge Troy Aikman fan. And so obviously my son has some friends here with a couple of twins who we will not name. They may have the last name Johnson, have effectively infected him into the Red Kingdom.
Well, actually,
Now,
you're wearing the
granted-
red shirt. All you just got to put a logo on that thing.
Yeah. Now, granted, we live in Chiefs Red Kingdom, so I mean I understand the hype, but I was thinking about last night when I was the same age as my son. The Cowboys were at the top of their game. Were winning championships. So I see the same similarities. So he's at the high right now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, subsequently after 96, it's not been so pretty for the Cowboys. So I'm just telling my son, like, soak it in, son, soak it in, and it won't always be there.
Ride the wave while you can.
Well, and the Chiefs had up until that Super Bowl a couple years ago. Was it 50 years?
Yeah, it's 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
until they
even
won
I wasn't even born yet when they
Yeah.
won the Super Bowl last. That was a long time ago.
over my Minnesota Vikings. So there you go, NFL weekend. We could talk about that and everyone on the internet. That's the MCD takeaway on that. Yeah. So now, even though our picks are totally busted up, what do you guys think coming up real quick? Our picks
okay,
for
let's
this
go
coming
through
weekend.
them. Bengals and Chiefs.
I'm going to pick that Rolaids and Tums are going to win.
What does that even mean? I don't.
That
know
means it's going to be like stressful and.
I see.
Yeah, Rolaids and Tums.
Okay,
are gonna win that
okay.
game.
Pick one. Pick one.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
Okay.
I probably regret that using my
Greg picks
non-reverse
Chiefs.
psychology.
Jeremiah.
I think the Chiefs will win, and they will
Chiefs.
give us the same story once again. I think I think they're going to come out a little bit. Bengals are going to be hanging tight. I think it's going to have to be a little magic at the end. So I'll take the Chiefs by 6.
I'm gonna pick Cincinnati
Because it's the home
home
field advantage.
I'm gonna pick Cincinnati because the Chiefs defense didn't show up to the game.
And they got torched. That's where they got torched last time.
Well,
Joe Burrow.
Well, you see that the Tennessee and the Cincinnati game was low scoring. It was like 9-6.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really low scoring.
Yep.
Which means it was a defensive game.
Yeah.
So.
I'm thinking Cincinnati's defense is going to be able to slow them enough, but Kansas City Chiefs isn't going to be able to slow the.
They're so fast. Kansas City's so fast.
They are.
Tyreek Hill is John Madden.
Incredible.
Video
that
game
touchdown,
fast.
it boggles my mind. When he kicks into that 6th gear and just torches people, I'm just like, how in the world? You know,
this is a good point an analyst made off of Fox Sports earlier this morning. Tyreek Hill throws up the deuce, the peace sign at the defense before he passed them.
Yes.
Before.
He's like,
not after. Like guys will do it after they know that. He did it before. And then he just
knew.
He's like, you know what's happening, guys.
See you guys. Peace.
Unbelievable speed. Just even to watch his legs in slow motion, they are still going fast.
Yeah. Does he still return? On kickoff return?
No, I don't think he
isn't that where he came from?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's where he came from. He started a kickoff return and he kept making touchdowns. So
I remember one of the last Chiefs speed demons they had. I don't know if I should use that word, but
Priest Holmes?
No, Dante Hall. Remember him?
Oh yeah,
that dude was fast.
Yep. That might be who I'm thinking of.
So Chiefs, Bengals, and our other game being the 49ers.
San Francisco
versus
49ers.
the Rams. Well,
I'm gonna pick Rams.
the only reason I'm
Rams?
going to pick the Rams is, imagine this: the Rams win this upcoming weekend. That means, just like last year when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay on his home field, means the LA Rams will get the same shot. They'll get a shot to play on their home field. LA.
So they're playing
This
LA.
year's Super Bowl is in LA SoFi Stadium.
Oh man.
How cool is that?
I'm gonna pick.
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm gonna pick the Rams too. Actually, I'm gonna go Rams.
Yeah.
I think they're the better team.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't think this weekend is going to live up to last
it's
weekend.
not.
It's
It's-
no way.
Well,
No
we know
way.
this. We know that some team in California is going to win the NFC Championship. We can all guarantee that.
There we go.
Wow. very deductive. Your
I should be
skills
able
of
to-
deduction are phenomenal there, Greg.
We'll just start spiritual talk right away. You know, we've been on the concept of, in our local church, talking about this what if type of thing. And so on the weekend, I was talking about what if we prayed, and the power of prayer. And then I used some stories last night of individuals of that didn't give up, you know, their prayer. And you can look at so many stories in the Bible where people did not give up on praying. They really sought the Lord. And I was last night, as I was watching the Chiefs game specifically, preachers can be horrible people in terms of they don't practice what they preach. You know, they don't. So here we go. You know, one of my primary points in my sermon on Sunday night was don't give up. Don't give up praying. And here I am. The Chiefs are down, losing, 13 seconds left. I'm like, it's over, guys. It's over. It's over. I gave up, you know? And we are prone to, when the pressure sets in, to give up. And that is what makes athletes, modern athletes, so amazing, is that ability that's almost borderline a supernatural thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be down a field goal, 13 seconds left, and have to walk on that field and somehow say, we can still do this.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Andy Holmes? I heard this morning what Andy Reid told Patrick Mahomes.
Say, go be the Grim Reaper, right?
Yeah, he goes, when the Grim Reaper comes, you go be the Reaper.
Yeah.
And so he went out there and reaped it.
But that is a tremendous mental switch that you'd have. And we see that in Brady. Tom Brady, even though he didn't get the dub this weekend, to be down 2 touchdowns and to walk on the field stone cold, we can still do this.
Yeah. Yep. I think that, Mahomes definitely has that ability for sure. And I know we're getting away from spiritual talk there, but
It's the correlation.
Iceman mentality.
It's the spiritual mentality that we should take into.
Yeah.
Not
being led by your emotion.
It's faith, really. What for us, we're talking about the issue of faith. I'm just scrolling in my brain. Think about Moses walking up to a sea, a body of water.
Yeah.
Just put your staff in it.
Yeah.
And now the difference for us is those amazing things that we see happen through prayer in our spiritual lives. We cannot contribute those to our own abilities, but it's the God that is in us and through us, and that is doing those things. But the willingness to, okay, Moses, I'm going to put my staff in this water, and a whole sea is going to part.
Yeah.
Right. And how many times has that happened before that? No one's ever seen the scene. No one, no human being on earth has ever saw a sea part by sticking your staff. So when God would say, "Go stick that in there," I'm like, I'm sure your brain's like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
What's incredible is that the Egyptians actually pursued them. It's like, wait, their God literally just parted the sea, and you're gonna just go in there with your chariots? That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
How about Elijah and the prophets? Elijah, there's 40 or 50 prophets, and he's like, call out your God, call out your God.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to call out to my God.
Yeah. Douse,
and he's going to
douse it in water.
Put water on it.
Yeah. Your God must be sleeping.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of my favorite stories.
Actually, I think if I remember right, he said that your God must be. You're talking about your God must be taking a dump.
Yeah.
Must be on the bathroom or something.
Yeah. He must be busy. He must be taking a nap.
But that's kind of what we're getting along the lines of here. This stone cold belief that God is going to do it.
Yeah.
And just.
Well, I think that's That, and we've kind of had conversations about this before, where, you know, when you go to a conference or a gathering of people, you know, you go expecting that God's going to do a great thing, right? When you go to a Billy Graham crusade back in the day, or you go to whatever it is, you know, you go fully expecting that God's going to move, you know, but our problem is that Sunday to Sunday and Wednesday to Wednesday, it's just a check on the box. It's just checking the box for your week. Like, you're going to church. You know, if we would go expecting the same way that we go expecting into like a crusade or a weekend event, a women's retreat, a men's retreat, or whatever it be, expecting that God's going to do something awesome this Sunday, you know, it would completely change the church.
Yeah.
And I think here's another interesting twist on prayer that I think a lot of people may not even realize that when you go into prayer, you're going into a fight. Because, I mean, we're praying to God, but we don't understand there's an enemy that's trying to counteract, trying. You know, we hear the story of Daniel, or is it Daniel, that the angel actually took 21 days to return to God's answer because he was fighting in the heavenlies. So you're entering that prayer, and you got an enemy that's trying to block that prayer from getting answered.
Yep.
And you know, it's not just a walk in the roses where you're, you know, hey God, I need this. And you know, a lot, you know, like I say, a lot of our prayers, you know, we as modern Christians, we want to answer the prayer, and like 5 seconds later we want to answer it. Like boom, we want it now. We want it now. We now, but it doesn't always operate that. I mean, I've been in situations where I had to pray for 2 years.
Yes.
2 years. And all through that 2 years, you got naysayers, people saying, oh, it's not going to happen. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. I mean, you have to fight your own flesh, trying to doubt. And the circumstances come by, and it's like you feel like you're taking 5 steps back for every 1 step you take forward. I mean, this is 2 years having to focus and pray and pray and pray. And it could wear you out if you don't keep your eyes on Jesus.
You just have to keep that faith.
Yes.
Praying through it. You know, my grandpa, my granddad, so my mom's dad, was basically a borderline atheist. And he told my mother that if she got married in a church, he would not be attending her wedding. And she just kept on. She kept praying for him, kept telling him, and kept feeding into him and telling him that God loves him. And, you know, he told her at one time, if you're going to write like that, don't write. You know, but she consistently kept at it for years and years and years and years and years. You know, he's a pastor today. Yeah. He pastors a little church in little podunk, rural Illinois, you know, and it's one of those things where it's just like she had faith that God was going to change his life and that it was going to happen. And she didn't expect any less. Like she expected it. It's going to happen. I'm just going to keep praying. I'm going to keep grinding this thing out, and God's going to provide it. Yep. You know,
I've noticed that as I scroll through, say, like the God moments, the real God moments, or the testimonies of my life, personally, have all come out. My greatest God stories have been in the most difficult of moments, or struggle, or hardest times. So let's go back to the football game this weekend. If the Chiefs won by 14 points, would we be talking about how great Pat Mahomes is today? Well, a little bit, maybe. But what made that game so awesome last night? Or those is that they had to go through severe adversity to get that victory, and that victory is all the more sweet because of that adversity that they walked through today. Yeah. And for you know, for Pat Mahomes and those guys today, I mean, that taste of victory is so sweet today because of the adversity. If they wouldn't have had that, it would have been good. But I mean, you can't tell me if they would have won by 14 yesterday, as opposed to what unfolded yesterday, which one is more sweeter. Yeah.
But let me add to that. But they've not been in that. They've been in that situation before. So go back to prayer. When we pray, we can also remember all the times that we've been in the same situation before, and God came through, which adds to our faith. So that should strengthen our prayers. The next time around, it's like, I'm praying for this situation. I'm in a hard situation. God, you did it this time. You did it that time.
Yep.
So why should I doubt you're going to stop now?
Yeah. And my personal experience too is that God has moved the most when I'm most uncomfortable. God continually stretches you and tests you. It's like maybe it's stepping out and praying out loud. Maybe it's stepping out and praying for somebody. All these different things that you get tested and it makes you uncomfortable. But that's once God sees you trusting Him, and having faith that He's going to provide. When do people have breakthrough in their life for salvation? Majority of the time, it's when they are rock bottom and at their most uncomfortable. Right, your life's falling apart in shambles.
Yeah,
and that's the moment that you look back to God and focus. You look at where God is moving the most, and usually it's the countries that have the most persecution. China and the Middle East and places like that, where it's you're either not a Christian, or if you're a Christian, you're going to die. You got to make that determination, that choice. When you and in the United States, we have a very comfortable life. Majority of us don't have to. And you went over stats yesterday about
frequency of prayer.
Frequency of prayer, and the least frequent the people that pray the least amount are over 100,000 with a degree. Right.
Yeah.
So
highly educated, making lots of money.
Right. So their reliance is on their money and themselves.
Yep.
Their reliance isn't on God. Right. And we're in a very comfortable position in the United States. So now, over the last couple of years, I think faith has been tested for a lot of people, and a lot of people have grown in their relationship with God. So,
in my opinion, it's going the testing is going to get, as our society becomes more secular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's becoming more secular. Might as well admit it.
Mm-hmm.
That people of faith are going to get more challenged.
Yeah. Well, and you got to bring it up too. Is like they talk about persecution of the church, and a lot of Christians are like, oh, we're being persecuted. It's like, great, awesome, bring it on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because right now, and I make the illustration of coffee. You've got cold coffee, lukewarm coffee, and hot coffee. In the church, if you pour hot coffee in lukewarm coffee, you have lukewarm coffee. If you pour hot coffee and cold coffee, you have lukewarm, right? You have all these options. But
I don't really relate to that illustration. But okay, go ahead.
It's because you don't drink coffee.
Just kidding.
Clearly, you're not Pentecostal if you don't drink. No, I'm just teasing. But the thing is in the church, when you have people that are cold or lukewarm, they dilute that hot coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get to the point where you have to decide, yes, I am a Christian, or no, I'm not, and that middle of on the fence is eliminated, that lukewarm option is eliminated, because somebody that when the church truly gets persecuted and someone's standing there and is like, there's no saying you're a Christian, and pretending. It's either you are or you aren't.
Right.
When that option's eliminated, I think we're going to see some serious breakthrough, because that decision, everybody that makes that decision that, yes, I am a believer in God, I'm hot coffee, that's when I think a lot of change is going to happen.
Well, you got some people who come to be Christians who are only Christians because they want something out of God.
Yeah.
And when the real persecution happens, they bow out.
Yeah. And I think some people use it as an accessory, that use it for their image. Oh yeah, I'm a good person, I go to church. I'm not persecuting anybody, but it's true. We need to stop doing that.
Yeah. Going back to your point there, Funko Pro Greg Walden, I like the thought as I've been reading through the Old Testament the last few years, I really like the thought of Abraham, where all along his journey, he's building altars, and he kept every God experience he had, he built an altar. And what was that for? It was to remind him, oh, this is where God healed. This is where God provided. This is where, and I love that thought of building altars in our life, where every time we meet God and we have God encounters, we build an altar, because then that carries us forward. And so for other people, those altars, they could look at them and be like, doesn't mean anything to you. But I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but it means everything to me because that represents a significant encounter that I had with the Lord. And so as we go through our journey of faith, we keep building these altar moments, and then we can run back to them and be like, oh, that's where God met me here. That's where God met me there. Oh, I remember when God did this and God did that. And so I really love reading in the Old Testament where Abraham keeps building these altars as a reminder of how God moved in his life.
And we have to remember that because a lot of times, God will move in our life, and then years down the line, we forget about it.
Yeah.
And then we,
Yeah, and too, when you're going through those experiences and problem, that's testimony. And when you meet people that are going through the same or similar situations, you can go to them and be like, "Listen, I've been through this," and you can minister to them,
And a lot of times we pray for something, God doesn't always give us the complete answer ahead of time. Like He might just say, okay, He might give you a little bit of answer, or He might tell you to wait, but eventually, you're going to have to put it all on, lay it down, all on the line to God. Just lay it all on down. So God, I'm just going to lay it on you, and I'm just going to wait. I'll be patient. I'll be faithful. I'm going to keep praying, but I'm going to totally lay it on the line with you.
Yeah.
What did the preacher say? Did he say like you can't get the money without the test, or every testimony needs a test, or how that preacher gets hyped up? You can't get a testimony without the test, or I can't remember how that goes.
That sounds
remember?
That sounds like a Reverend Jeremiah Johnson comment.
Yeah, exactly. So
what was it yesterday? It was more is more.
Yeah, more is more.
Less is not more.
Less is not more. More is more.
Yeah, T-shirt.
Obviously, come on.
T-shirt coming in the future.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're dudes talking news, sports, and God. We're going to talk more football next week, and I'm sure leading into the next week or two, and then we'll have the big MCD. We gotta fly over to LA for the Media Day, right? Isn't it Media Day? And if Super Bowl, there's the whole Media Day.
Yeah.
See if we can get our credential passes and head over that way and everything.
What that means is we're going to get some green screen. It's going to look like we're there.
Yep.
So maybe we'll get Tom Brady on the show now that he's just hanging out a little bit.
He has more time on his hand now.
Aaron Rodgers, get them both on the show at the same time.
They're not doing anything right now.
So anyway. Well, so I think Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be a Christian, isn't he? So come on,
you can invite him to the Super Bowl party.
No comment.
All right, guys. Modern Christian dudes, dudes talking news, sports, God. Talk to you guys next time.
On the board.